Thanks for the hug, Rudy.
$100 huge months.
Ooh, sick. Thank you for 100 months. Hope you're doing well. Busy, busy, busy. Yeah. Same. That's where I'm at. By the way, my stream title wasn't great. I'm just tired, really. Stream title made it sound worse. But I feel wiped. No. I'm just tired. I do have a little bit of like non-specific depression. Of the annoying kind. The amount of time that my brain spends like just being like, I want to make things. I'm bad at making things. While I'm making things is obnoxious. It's truly obnoxious. This is the unending storm that just goes on in my head all the time. Very much a waste of brain power. Yeah, in many ways, I sometimes feels like that's the case. But you know, I don't know. I try not to let it get out of control, I guess. Yuck. Nothing's really going like poorly either. Things are fine. Work is good. Just I don't know. I get in my own head about stuff. Everything's great. Yeah. Daydreaming. I most of the time just wish I had more time. That's what I think I feel the most often. I also have been debating on once again whether like therapy or psychiatry would be at all beneficial. It's I don't know, that's a whole thing. For real. Yeah, let's not get into that. Don't get me going again. Do not get me going again. If things stay as they are, maybe that'll be how it is. And I mean, it's easy to, it's definitely easy to have a pessimistic view on it all. Maybe something will change, though, positively. Maybe. Yeah, things are being worked on. I don't know if I would describe it as a pace. It's obviously it's somewhat of a struggle just to get ideas together. But you know, we're still a month and a half out. I'm hoping to be able to take advantage of that time to make something happen. But it's up in the air still. So we'll see. It can't be bad forever. Right? Not Scrat itself, just the theming of it. Oddly enough, I would say the most like optimistic thing simmering away in my mind is local Ohio politics, which is I know bizarre to say, but I'm getting some good vibes, I feel. Well, if you scratch beneath the surface, not that horrific, actually. Maybe. Some interesting things are happening. One is we had that ballot, you know, last week, and we knocked down issue 1, which was the sneaky thing to try to prevent. Most likely, and I'm convinced that is the case, that they want to prevent the ballot amendment coming up in November regarding reproductive rights, as well as trans rights. I'm not saying that the politics are currently good. I'm saying that it seems to me that there is a potential path forward to undoing the bad, which is what I'm laying out. So in November, there's going to be 2 amendments on the ballot. I know it's worse for some groups. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about how it is. I totally acknowledge that it sucks shit here. All right, man. Like, that's not what I'm talking about, is the thing. I totally acknowledge that. 100% I acknowledge that. I'm not sitting here telling you that things are good for everyone right now, here today. I'm saying, I'm trying to talk about going forward, there are some things that look good to be optimistic about. This is sort of a separate consideration. And considering it is not to deny anybody else's lived experience. No, I totally get it. I'm not trying to invalidate that at all. I mean, you haven't even really heard what I'm gonna say. I think we kind of both did to each other, Beer. I I think we both would be in agreement. On the one hand, I'm not at all saying that things are good for everybody here, especially certain groups. And the present day reality of the politics here in this state are absolutely definitely bad. So that's one separate thing, right? Women's rights, trans rights, bodily autonomy. We are in a fascist state right now. I 100% believe that. What I was going to be driving at is that the positive, in my opinion, indicators. So I'm talking about just indicators. Is that number one, issue one got slapped down, which was an intentional fascist move to make it not just difficult, but in my opinion, impossible for us to make any further changes to the state constitution. It was a move to basically, it was a power grab. It was a fascist power grab, which would have given the Republican legislative body unchecked essentially control, because they've already, so the history of issue one, which I talked about a little bit before, is that in 2015, so almost a decade ago, I wasn't presently living in Ohio for this, so I can't really say we, but as a person who lives in Ohio now, we, they voted for, the people of Ohio voted for and passed an amendment to address the gerrymandering. It was about, we want, basically it said we want fair districts. We want the districts redrawn. And for the gerrymandering to be rolled back. And in the entire time that's since that amendment was passed, they have stalled and even ignored ever actually doing that. The Supreme Court in Ohio, so Ohio's Supreme Court, not the national level Supreme Court, it actually ended up going to the Ohio Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled that the districts that they had drawn up were not fair and they were rejected. And the Republican legislative body
fuck, shit, goddamn, this slaps.
ignored Jesus Christ, ignored the Supreme Court's ruling, and just even openly said that they were just going to run out the clock. Like they said they're stalling because they're not going, they don't want to, and they're just not going to. And unfortunately, the Supreme Court declined to enforce. So basically, they just threw it back in our faces like, yeah, we're not going to do what you tell us to do. And so that's some historical significance behind issue one. Issue one was them trying to lock that in. Like, we're not going to do what you tell us to do, and we're not going to let you tell us what to do anymore either. But that got massively slapped down. They tried to sneak it into a time when they knew that voter turnout is normally low in August. And voter turnout for this was actually high. It was something like, I think it was 3 million people that voted in that territory, which is a lot for August. Yeah, they were even going to just do away with bothering with August votes. So they did this intentionally. And, you know, it's just Typical hypocritical shit from them. So anyway, the fact that we slapped that down, and it was like 60% opposed. So it was basically a landslide. In November, we're going to be voting on two ballot amendments, or two constitutional amendments on the ballot. And they're both going to get a yes from me. One is, and I think this news just came out today, that the marijuana legalization amendment got the signatures and approval to go on the ballot. So that's a yes. More importantly to me, though, is the reproductive freedom amendment that is going to be on that ballot, which is going to enshrine reproductive rights, bodily autonomy, and this also covers a number of trans issues as well into the constitution of the state. And it's going to prevent them from being able to ban abortion. And with the momentum that we currently have going, I would say that it seems pretty favorable that we're very likely to probably get both of these. Because, and I don't know, I'm not an analyst or whatever, but it seems to me that the momentum, the sort of clapback tidal wave that the Republicans unleashed on themselves by overturning Roe v. Wade has inspired people. And this has been shown in other states as well, where so far not a single attempt to basically amendments that have been done elsewhere to prevent abortion bans and so on and so forth. None of them have failed. That's succeeded everywhere that it's come up. Now, I don't want to rely on that being the case. And of course, I'm going to be getting out to vote. And anybody else that's in Ohio, I hope you fucking make it a priority. If you can, if you have access, if you have the ability to vote, if you can get to a polling location, this is like really critical. And so beyond that, there is another amendment that is extremely important, that is gathering the signatures now to get on a ballot next year, hopefully, to address the gerrymandering, the district map situation that they have been ignoring. Which, again, all of these things I'm talking about would have been blocked if issue 1 had passed. So the issue 1 was intensely critical and extremely sneaky and fascist that they threw that on the ballot like that and tried to sneak it by. There is an initiative going on now to amend the Constitution to take the power from the legislators to draw up the district maps and put it into the hands of a citizen committee. And what is their website? They're in the signature collection phase now. Hold on. I will find this. Okay, cool. Yeah, this was, I remembered it correctly. I think this is it. You have to be careful because there's like astroturfing campaigns that will try to mimic actual action. I think this is it though. Except for this website looks kind of... This doesn't look like the one. This is related, I think, but I'm looking for their actual website. So give me just a moment. I want to get it to you so that you can... Oh, is it trying to autofocus? I'm sorry. If I flip the disk, that'll solve this. Ah. I found an article about it. Here we go. No, fuck. This content is only available to subscribers. Fuck you, newspapers, honestly. It's as great as I thought it would be. Truly. Packrat, thank you for the raid. Welcome, friends. Also, Omni, thank you for 88 months. Sorry I didn't immediately respond there. It is fair districts. I'm just trying to figure out, like, where the fuck can you sign? Like, I don't understand people's approach to organizing sometimes where it's, like, so hard to find them. But essentially, this is the movement. But we want to get a... their website just seems to be wildly out of date to me. But we want to get this ballot up and get it voted on, because this will take the map, the district map drawings out of the hands of the legislature, and put it into a citizen committee. And that's going to be huge, because Ohio is one of the most horrifically gerrymandered states. And I, in fact, live in essentially the example district when people talk about gerrymandering on a national level. Jim Jordan's district. Yeah, there's really, really bad ones. Just Jim Jordan's is one of the examples of the worst. So my hope is that this will get on the ballot, and this would make a huge difference. And then also collecting signatures. And this site, you can actually, if you're in Ohio, you can get on the petition now. Ranked choice. So there is right now a bill. Let me see. They have info about it on their website. Well, they have a link right there. It says stop the ban. So SB 137 is some fascist ass shit where they want to effectively ban ranked choice voting. And as this website explains, ranked choice voting is actually already protected. Ohio Supreme Court ruled in 1923 that Ohio municipalities and charter communities have the right to use RCV. And then this goes on to say, which is why the bill withholds local government funds in order to effectively prohibit RCV through coercion. So that's how fucking twisted this is. They can't even outlaw it. So instead, anybody who tries to use ranked choice voting will just be strangled financially until they stop. Well, right. And these sorts of bans you only see coming from Republicans for some reason. Gee, I wonder why. The most basic possible definition of fascism that you can come up with that essentially defines it pretty well is seeking power and holding power for power's sake. It's not about issues, it's about power. And there really isn't any other reason to outlaw something like a voting system. Yeah, everything else is just a means to an end. Fascists seek power and keeping that power. Now, so basically, an amendment here would be just to protect and enshrine RCV against this bullshit. It wouldn't, decree that everybody has to use RCV. And so there's still all this other work to be done to make that happen. But like, the reason that this gives me optimism is that in terms of actually addressing like things that would have massive effects, right, politically, especially locally, ranked choice voting is one. Ending gerrymandering is another. Those are huge. Because we would actually start to have real representation. And undo some of the various things that fascists have been using to hold on to power. So that was what I was saying was giving me a little bit of optimism. Because I feel like there's good momentum in the direction of making these things happen, where I didn't feel that before. So yeah, any of you who are in Ohio, and regardless of your party affiliation, these are good things. These are good things that the fascists don't want us to have. Yeah. And just having a little tiny bit of optimism, I'm not at all taking it for granted, nor am I saying that things are at all good. I'm just saying, like, if there's a little bit of a spark, I would like to help keep it alive if I can. Like more and more I've been looking at these movements and speaking about them, and if I manage to get my fucking self in order, I may start trying to donate my time as well to some of these initiatives. That's the really crazy thing here, is that they're basically trying to outlaw just leveling the playing field. And I feel like is that not very obviously telling on yourself? I feel like even people who would call themselves Republicans or conservatives should see this. And I think that many did with issue 1, in terms of recognizing that regardless of your party affiliation, issue 1 was solely a power grab. Objectively so, in a way that transcends party. Some do, but there are definitely those who can still see beyond that. Yeah, certainly in the majority case, you're not wrong. The only reason I'm thinking about that is because given the amount of people that voted on issue 1 and the direction that went, that couldn't have all just been, leftists or progressives or whatever. There had to be a lot of people on the other side that saw through it as well, I would think. But again, I don't know. I don't have numbers on that. I don't know if there are numbers on that yet, but I'd be very interested. Did I hear about the AZ Republican Party? I don't know. I hear things now and again. Tell me. I've been hearing a lot of shit about Carrie Lake because she sucks. She is an outright open fascist. It's insane. She's absolutely insane. But do tell.
That was an unpleasant release.
Food Flare, thank you for 72 months. Oh. Oh, I called it. It was about Carrie Lake. So she spent all their money? Oh, fuck me. That's so good. I love it. This is what you get, man. When you throw in with the most insane people that are telling you they're fucking nuts. When they repeatedly show you that they have detached themselves from reality, these are the results. Arizona was one of the hot spots where, remember, there was that company, what were they called? Like Cyber Ninja or some fucking shit. So like they did an initial fucking ballot recount, nothing turned up. And then they had this fucking bullshit company who wanted to come in and do a third party recount. And guess what? They didn't find anything either, because there's nothing to fucking find. Because this shit is all lies. It's been proven again, over and again, that it's lies. How people persist with it at this point is mind-boggling. The level of conspiracy to maintain something like this would involve hundreds of thousands of people. It's not possible. It is not possible to do. It's been checked over and checked over by both sides. It's across party lines. We have partisan agreement that it did not happen. Oh yeah, Monday's gonna be fucking gangbusters. Popcorn companies are salivating. Buy. I mean, it's just going to be a hilarious joke, is what it's going to be. It's going to be what's called a nothing burger. Yeah, it is. It is like that with the flat earthers. Because it's not about it's about just like believing in something. It's just believing in something that makes you feel like you're right, that makes you feel like you're powerful when you feel powerless. I think is a lot of the core. I just feel really strongly that that's the core behind so much of this insane bullshit that's in our face all the time. And I think it was probably just always there, but like we didn't have so much of it in our face before the internet and social media really started putting shit in our face constantly. So I'm sure this was like constantly present, but you know, I feel similarly about like the manosphere stuff with like Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson and everything, is that there is one thing and one thing only that all those guys are right about. None of the shit that they say, none of their philosophies, nothing Jordan Peterson ever fucking says is based is like correct, and nor is it based. It's all that is bullshit. But the one sort of thing that they're right about that's like shared across them underneath is that there is a feeling of powerlessness that people have, and they're trying to fill that void, and they're misidentifying the source of that powerlessness. I mean, we know what it is, but they're filling it with bullshit. Generally, is what's happening. So, like with the Manosphere guys, they're basically telling guys that that are really dealing with the void, right? Well, you just have to be strong, and you just have to be mean to women, and you just have to this and that and the next thing. You just have to have a fast car. You just have to whatever. You know, those guys are doing that because it sells, and the guys that are buying it is because it's like a drug. It's a temporary. It temporarily drowns out the void, or maybe even forever. I think some people can just like you can never shake that brainworm your whole life if you don't if the right I don't know if the right things aren't said to you, or the right events don't happen to you, or whatever, something, if nothing ever happens to you that shakes you out of that trance, you could be stuck with it your whole life, probably. But that's what it is that they're trying to fill the void that's created by inequality, capitalism, and fascism. I mean, fascism's trying to fill a void too. It's the way it works. There's a recipient at the peak of the pyramid, a recipient of power, and then they gain that power by filling the void for people who have some sort of insecurities, or whatever, right? you know, telling people, oh, well, everything that's wrong with your life, it's not your fault, which is true sometimes. I mean, not every single thing, but a lot of the things that you can't control is not necessarily really your fault. But the answer they provide is, you know, well, it's this group of people over here, they're to blame. Or, you know, it's just some other target. I think it's like kind of the core of everything. Like when you dig down to the bottom of most of this bullshit, that's what's at the fucking center of it. And I don't know, like there's a lot of other nuance to it, I'm sure. You know, like what are the reasons that you end up accepting these wrong answers, right? Well, don't have enough empathy, maybe. Didn't experience enough love, maybe. Just got a bad deal generally in life, maybe, you know. Just bad jobs over and over again, or bad things happening to you over and over again. Whatever. Everybody has different experiences, so like what shapes a person and what creates a void is, I think, going to be really very individual. Angry dogs. I have 2 angry dogs. I don't think they're really angry. They're just hungry. Yeah. Like I think the young men problem has been covered pretty thoroughly by people at this point, right? There's just like a lot of insecurity, and the position of men has been, from certain perspectives, being whittled away. It's not really. It's being made more equal, but you know, a lot of guys are susceptible to you know, bullshit from the internet telling them, well, actually. And there's a lot of people that are eager to prey on that because it equals money. That's one of the sad sort of ironies of the whole thing, is that, like, you know, the guys that get that way, that like become incels and stuff like that. Well, yeah, I mean, I was just trying to reframe it a little bit, BFA, so it doesn't sound like that's their perceptions, that they're losing something they're owed, whereas it's just being made more equivalent. But at any rate, I'm not a pundit or a talking head, so I'm not prepared with like the ideal phrasings for these sorts of things. But where was I even going? Oh yeah, these guys, you know, they have these insecurities and this void and everything, and then you know, some internet daddy comes along to tell them, you know, how great they are. But the sad truth behind all of that is that those guys are grifters, and they're victims in a now new and different way. Like they felt like victims before, and then they're walking into somebody's trap. You know, they're just like cash cows for these internet grifter guys. Yeah, sure, Pat. Fire away. I'm terminally online, so I probably know who it is. Well, like, you know, Andrew Tate doesn't give a fuck about any of these guys. He's not really trying to help any guys do anything. He's trying to help himself and himself only. Ah, yes. Ah, yes, Ian. Old Ian. Yeah, he's a real scumfuck. uh, the ultimate grift. Just grifting from a distance. That's like there's a lot of people external to the U.S. who are right wing or even not just right wing but alt right pundit types like Sargon Akkad. He's based in the UK. I mean, people can have opinions from outside, but it's different when you're integrated to the degree of being like a grifter, specifically about U.S. politics, which was what Sargon's all about. Fucking, there's a number of them, like Milo, or God, who else? There's a few Canadians that are in the grift game. The reason is that it's fucking lucrative. Algorithms were built to reward engagement, and nothing engages us like outrage. And the alt-right grifter guys are getting it from both sides, right? Because they get their base audience riled up, and then they get, you know, the sort of opposing view people riled up, and in either case they win because they're getting engagement, either positive or negative. It's all positive from the perspective of the algorithm. So that's what fueled all that. That's what's still fueling it today. That's what keeps it trucking. It doesn't have to be right. It doesn't have to be true. It doesn't have to be good. It just has to get engagement. Period. The end. Why are you yelling? I know she's here. I know she's here. Well, that was Bun. Bun's doing her wiggle grumbles. How was your stream?
It's okay. How was your stream?
I just did a check-in. In fact, I'm about ready to roll out. Do you want to actually put Penny in the bedroom? And then I'll walk him out.
Okay.
Thank you, Babby. Yes, I finally killed that thing. I actually got rid of the extension a while ago, and I was so perplexed. I didn't understand, like, how are these still coming in? What the heck is going on? And it doesn't get rid of the damn channel points thing it created. That just stays there. So I finally realized that was what was happening, and I killed it instead. Don't waste your points. See, this is the fucking problem with millennials. You don't have any savings. Well, have you invested them? All right. Well, thanks for hanging with me. Sorry it was just a check-in, but I'm fucking wiped out today, and I didn't want to have like a blah Zelda stream. So I just wanted to just pop in, check in, yada yada. So it's only been about roughly an hour. But anyway, thanks for hanging out. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully in better spirits. And if you're in Ohio, check out those things linked. Fair Districts Ohio and Rank the Vote Ohio. Get your signature. Shut up. Get your signature in there. And remember to vote in November. Really, really big, important votes in November. Yeah. Here you go. Here's Fair Districts. Fair Districts would probably be coming up and mattering sooner than Rank the Vote, but both are good initiatives that we need people on. And then, in November, vote on the Reproductive Rights Amendment and the Marijuana Amendment. Vote yes. Alrighty. Y'all have a good one. I will see you tomorrow.